What does it mean to be a bodyguard? You put your life on the line to protect the lives of others. A bodyguard offers protection to those who are seemingly so important that they require additional protection from the dangers which may befall them. Dangers such as harassment, robbery, assault, kidnapping, and assassination. When most people think of the types of people who need bodyguards, the words rich and famous come to mind. Aside from important public figures such as kings, diplomats, and government officials, high-profile entertainers and celebrities also use bodyguards. I traveled to upstate New York to the city of White Plains to meet with such a man who spent a great deal of his life protecting the lives of others, particularly one of music's most legendary producers, Teddy Riley. Teddy's influence in the music industry was so huge that a subgenre of music was named after his sound and dubbed New Jack Swing. And with Riley's newfound fame and fortune came the need for additional protection. Enter the dragon, Tony Sifu Watts. This is Sifu's story of his life as a celebrity bodyguard. This is Confessions of a Bodyguard, the story of Tony Sifu Watts.
Listen, y'all, I grew up here in White Plains, New York. In fact, it's all started on Lake Street, right down here where we at, off of Minerva Place. My grandma lived in 150, where they used to call Rec Park, and eventually it was called Delfino Park, named after the mayor. I grew up seeing a lot of things as a child, good kid. I grew up with a caretaking family. My grandmother named Miss Lucy Mae Hazelwood, my mother named Miss Adele Richardson Watts. My real dad name was Jonathan Bernard Sr., but he didn't have time for me. My stepfather, Mr. Billy Ray Watts, was the one who played that position. He was just a father. Daddy may not take care of you, I'd rather die with you. At the end of the day, I became a Watts through marriage with my mother. I learned a lot in life. I never understood why people say they love you, put their hands on you, hit you. And I knew somewhere in life that it wasn't right. So my little mind set out to want to do something about it, called learn to defend myself. So I started soul searching. Went to my grandma and asked her for some money to go to the book fair. And she knew I was so anxious to go to this book fair. She was like, hey, you really want to get to this book fair? What you want? I buy these certain books. I want to learn how to protect myself. I want to learn how to become strong. Well, the first book I bought was Charles Atlas on strength, how to build my body. The second book I bought was Heron 1, 2, and 3 of Kyokushinkai, a book on karate. But I didn't realize it was an advanced karate book, but I just saw the word karate, so I wanted to learn. Then I saw a book said, Goju, karate. I bought that. And then the last little book cost $10. It's called Kung Fu for Young People. Bought that. Well, those 3 books, I bought. Strange. I bought these books in elementary school. Today, in Kyokushinkai, second degree black belt in Kyokushinkai. In Goju, Sundown, third dan, and Goju. And that book I bought, that little book that cost $10, says Kung Fu for Young People. That very book was done by my teacher, Grandmaster Moya. When he first moved to New York, I bought the book as a kid in second grade. Today, I'm Grandmaster Watts under Grandmaster Moya. And Grandmaster Moya is the youngest Sifu under Grandmaster Yipman, and which is my Shigon, my grandfather. To my disciple, Shiteigon, meaning great-grandfather. Well, me, I was the youngest Sifu under Moya, Grandmaster Moya, and 19 years old. I made history in the Chinese Kung Fu family. Okay, I learned tradition. And I got involved in this for a cause, not because. My cause was, I don't care who you are, you never put your hands on me to hurt me or bring harm to me ever again, because I was tired of being hit for being a child. I wasn't trying to be an adult. I was just moving and smack. So one day, my uncle, I didn't know, was observing me. My uncle went back to my parents and told them, said, I'm telling you, I need to sit down and talk to you. So they was like, about what? You need to not put your hands on him anymore. What you mean? I'm telling you, don't try it, don't do it, because he's not the same child as you think. That Tony's been going to a class, you think Tony in the playground playing, so Tony's been going to class. Every penny I made cutting grass, painting fences, cutting grass. I said, I took and paid for class. No adult ever paid for my classes because in the 60s, parents didn't believe in, what I was doing. They wanted you at McDonald's. They didn't believe in. So, but my sister, she was deceased. My brother Spencer, deceased. My little brother Larry, deceased. There were 6 of us. Only 3 of us alive. Everyone always thought I was the middle child, or the oldest child. No, I'm the middle child. That everyone looked for that security and strength. And I got it from my mama, my grandmama, and my grandpa, and aunt. The strength, the family strength. And in my life, I've been determined to break the family curse, to raise more kings rather than pawns.
Sory Thomas. I'm from White Plains, New York, 70th Ferris specifically. I play professional basketball in Europe. It's been my 14th season so far. And I met Grandmaster when I was a young boy. Growing up, he knew my mom, Rosemary. And she was a great protective mother. And she allowed me to come to his dojo every day. While I was at the dojo, my love for basketball was high. But she respected him and trusted him so much that I was able to, come down there and dribble the basketball. And for him, his lessons in life are very valuable. He's an uncle to me, a father figure in my life that really showed us what discipline meant. Being able to be disciplined in all situations. Learned about what it means to fight for a cause and not be caused. So that means you got to hold your temper. You got to make sure you're fighting for things that have value, have substance. And he taught me that. He taught me a lot of different values. He was somebody that really instilled, willpower, showed that he would travel across the world with the different groups that he did. He was a celebrity bodyguard, and we aspire to be that, as I am now, as somebody that has played basketball overseas, has gained some level of success, been around the world. A lot of jewels that he dropped is amazing, and we always stick together. So, that each one teach one, eye, heart to heart. All of that I learned since a young boy, so I try to model myself as a young individual that has morals and values, and we learned that through Grandmaster. He was a typical embodiment of morals, values, and willpower, and giving his heart to the community.
We need more kings in our family and queens. We need more. We come from royalty, but from us allowing ourselves not to have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to the fullest of ourselves. It's so important, So learning to defend myself. Growing up here in White Plains, I played Pop Warner football. I played junior high school football. I played high school football. Pop Warner All-American, All-Trojan, All-Conference title. And these were ways I vented to get, hurt and pain. And the whole time I was playing because I wanted to get my mother a beautiful house and a home. And I knew that my athletic ability could do it. But in 1979, something occurred. A child was born, my oldest son, Tony Jr. I had a scholarship. I went to the Contempt, Alabama, Albany State, played football where I might have just been I've been already retired from NFL football, but I realized I couldn't play football until I died. I needed to be here as long as possible to raise my son, my kids, so my dad left me hanging. And I'm the dad I never had, and my kids are the kids I wanted to be, so I made a choice. I could have went and thought about myself, but no, I thought about my children. I thought about the importance of being dad. being the best. That's why I never quit my job, even though I was shattered. I couldn't tell my kids I was getting $300 a week. I'm going every day, every week working. That's a little embarrassing, so I had to make the difference up. I went in the streets. And I had a lot of cats from the industry, rappers, R&B cats. They from the street. I'm telling you, the only thing they did in the street was walk across the street. Okay? Stop saying you from the street, because you ain't did shit in the street, but either mule or took your ass home. That's it.
Jamal, from White Plains. I'm from Ferris. I used to hang out on Ferris before I moved on to Ferris. Young boy, like 9, 10 years old, and I used to see Professor, I call him Sifu was everybody called him back in the day, but I used to see him obviously teach at the dojo up there, and he used to punch on brick walls and telephone poles. So I was amazed at that, So he basically birthed and raised all of us. He's probably the closest individual man that I say is like close to a superhero, as in I seen that man do things I've never seen another man do physically. I seen that man honor and get respect and love from people from wolves respect him. He's like the super wolf, you know what I'm saying? But I also seen him be respectable and make you respect the elders, women crossing the street, moving out their way, young kids. He had honor about him. He wasn't just a triple OG and a like I said, a super wolf, but anybody would tell you, if he stopped things that the cops couldn't stop, that other super G's couldn't, other OGs couldn't stop, he could put a pause to him. When he stepped in, he told us no go, it's no go. You know what I'm saying? So, I was amazed by that, and I got to be around him and learn. And he took me and embraced me. I've trained with him, nowhere near like the other students, but I've trained with him. But I'm more or less like a son to him. You know what I'm saying? That man, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, plays a big part of my life. And I wouldn't be who I am without him. That's a fact.
All right, my name is Percy Thomas. I'm an instructor in Wing Chun, Muay Kali. I've also taken capoeira throughout the years, so I've done various martial arts throughout my martial arts career, but my foundation and my beginning is with Muay Wu, Tony Watts. Met him back in the early 80s. I was looking for a place to get clean. A friend of mine talk about this guy. He's like, yo, there's this guy in White Plains. He's a real martial artist. He studies Wing Chun. I was like, oh snap, let me go check it out. So I went to the school. I talked to the professor about 10, 15 minutes, and that's all I needed to hear. Like, the mindset was right, his heart was right. It was a dope school because it was all positive black men. He was a positive black man, so he gave me that image that I needed. And everybody at the school was doing positive things. So I started training there right from day one. It was on. Like, the first day we did strengthening, and like right from the beginning, it was all about mind, body, and spirit. All three, the connection, put it all together as a martial artist and as a person. So, I thank him every day for the foundation that he gave me, because it helped elevate me through life and gave me a path that I didn't have before. It gave me everything I needed to be the man I am today. So I'm definitely humble and grateful for meeting Tony Watts, Muay Wu, and anybody who can train with him will say the same thing. The energy is ridiculous, and the spirit that he brings to the martial art world is like nothing ever before, nothing will be again. He is the Grand Master.
It was on a Thursday night, rainstorm, thunder and lightning, like Jason may come by the crib or something. We at the dojo, we training, man. I'm talking about sweat, blood, tears, and swords, and Thomas cats getting flipped wrong, and calisthenics. We wheelbarrow walking in the rain, in the mud, through the driveway, all the way back into the dojo. All of a sudden, we're getting to finish up and go into meditation. All of a sudden, the door, boom, 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 boom. When it was thunder and lightning, so boom, 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 boom. I go, Khalid said, sir. I said, check the door. All of a sudden, the door burst open. Short, light-skinned brother with a beard, trench coat on his head. Assalamu alaikum. Sifu here. Khalid said, yes, brother Sadiq. He said, tell him I need to speak to him. I sound like Captain So Short when he talked to you. And he came in and I said, Sadiq here? I said, tell Sadiq, come on in the office, man. Sadiq said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, wa alaikum salam, big brother. He said, I need to talk to you, brother. I said, what's wrong? He said, Gene Griffin. He has an upcoming godson, is the top music producer of the world with a group called GUY. I said, yeah? He said, and he needs a bodyguard and someone to secure the record label. He said, and I told him you was the man. We go down to 2287 Cape Pot Street. We walk into a high-rise condo. Now, you don't see too many of them. High-rise condo building. So I'm thinking a regular apartment building. No, it's a condo. I walk in, and I see this bald-headed man. And I'm like, and then Sadiq said, this is Gene. I said, well, alaikum, big brother. He said, alaikum salam. He said, sit down, brother. Big brother. He said, I like your work. Because what happened was, the real Italian mob was about to get in Theodore's behind. And what it was all about, they have them laundry rooms in them high-rise condos where those 3 people on that floor use those washers and dryers. But it's not meant for you to leave your clothes in washing and drying. Well, we know bruh and and his other half were lazy. And they left them clothes in the dryer and wash it. Italian boy came to wash his clothes, and he left a letter. You don't leave your clothes in the wash and dry no more. So Teddy went and showed it to Gene. Well, Gene Muslim, we ain't having that. You could have knocked on the door and asked us to not just leave the clothes, but you niggas. Okay, so now you done created a problem. So now I gotta go talk to this young mobster. I get to the building, me and the squad, and we realize what's happening in the building. The building, the superintendent is involved with the Italian boy. They selling yay out of the building. Got the camera system. So we had to put the super in a room for a minute, I really don't like to incriminate myself, but caught a little bit of duct tape, and then we went on upstairs and talked to the cat, so the dog sort of got kicked across the living room, it was a pit bull. Then we need to talk to you, Chin. And we would apologize to Mr. Griffin and Mr. Rollins, and we never see that again, we sorry. And then that was when the man realized dudes just came in and shut down the mob. This whole building, this is my security. And from that day on, after we handled that, and handled 2,500 for 10 minutes. Told me, when can I start? I said, tomorrow. I quit the shit working with the city. Just look, in the same breath. I went from $1,500 every 2 weeks to $25 every week. Came so different, you know what I mean? We would go to what's called SIR. We would go to the rehearse and work with, rent equipment and dance rehearsal. People coming for talent to see if they can dance, So we had to watch girls dance, pick the dancers for the group and all. We had to get equipment, we had to find roadies. And Teddy, one thing he was extremist on and very particular on, you had to be like one of the best in order to be on that stage with him. You had to be the best keyboard player, the best bass. You had to be one of the best drummers, right? That understood that New Jack swing. I watched him, on 2287 Cape Pot Street. Sometimes like day after day, or one time I remember, whole week, every time we came to the house, he would unwire the whole control board and everything and start rewiring everything. I would go, He just wired all this shit. And as soon as he would sense something not sensing, or he'd start all over. So that's why I would watch him, and eventually I would be helping him. And from what he didn't realize, how much I learned.
Peace be on you. My name is Kenneth Chamberlain Jr. In the martial arts world, I'm known as Professor Jihad. I've been training with Grandmaster Watts for a little over 3 decades, about 35 years. I met Grandmaster when I was 14, 15 years old. I was in the streets, playing with guns and alcohol and things like that, and getting high. And my mother actually went to Grandmaster and asked Grandmaster to save me. Please help my son, because if you don't, somebody's gonna kill him. So he came to me one day and he told me about his school, and me being cocky and arrogant even then, he was telling me where his school is, and I remember saying to him, "What time does your class start?" He said, 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And I said, "Yeah, I'll be there at 6:55. I got there and I sparred with one of my older brothers, who then became my older brother. His name was Rudell. We called him Gunny. Gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps. And Gunny just mopped the floor with me. So from that point, I started training. And here we are, 35 years later, and I'm now fighting the city of White Plains because my father was killed by White Plains police officers. And I have to say to this, the martial arts discipline that was instilled in me, that gives me the fight, gives me the drive, allows me to stand up in the face of adversity and not back down from these people. And they try to intimidate you, any way that they can. So I just want to say, that martial arts definitely saved my life. Also one other thing is I suffer from asthma, and Grandmaster used to take my pump from me in class and wouldn't give it to me, and said he'll only give it to me if I actually need it. And he taught me how to control my breathing, so I don't rely on the pump. I keep it with me, but I can't remember the last time I've ever used it in over 35 years. So I definitely say thank you to Grandmaster. He is the reason why you see the man before you today. Appreciate you, Grandmaster. Like you said, we're giving him his flowers while he's here. Us, peace be on you. Each one teach one, eye to eye, heart to heart. Love you, sir.
Me, I'm loyal to the team. I'm loyal to my people. I never forgot where I came from, and what I've done. And if anything I've done in society, I paid my debts. I owe nothing. I have to look over my shoulder, and 90% of the places I could people like me. I was that type of guy. I was these assholes. I had my own school. I had over 45 children in my school. I had over 35 adults. I was told by a famous music producer, once he get his new record label, we're gonna move to VA. First we moved to Atlanta, to Georgia. We stayed right near Dominic Wilkins and Gene. Then he didn't like Georgia because Gene watched him too much, so he wanted to go to the VA. So we go down to VA and we look at houses and find it on Lord's Landing. And that's how we ended up down south, you know what I mean? But been all over the place, and Ted was different, man. Man, Washington D.C. Cap Center, man. I was down. That's when Carolyn and all of them were around. Man, this is when Guy was like the Beatles, man. These dudes couldn't walk in the street like regular people. They couldn't be in a hotel and be spotted because they gonna stampede. I bear witness to women no bigger than this tripod, man, run straight through police barricades like they wasn't even standing there. And they got on high heels and dresses. They don't got on no football equipment or nothing. They run straight through the barricade. Ah! Excited. I'm like, this is amazing, man. And then, I never forget, we were in Philadelphia, North Philly. And it's a major, we on world tour, 68 city winter tour. And we all three perform. R. Kelly's on the tour. And the nasty man gonna teach the young boy how to be nasty on stage. And R. Kelly took his game. And he wanted to fight R. Kelly in the alley. What was so crazy was, when we were leaving the venue, as we coming out, the girls are screaming and following us, and it's like 1,000 of them behind us. But watch this. When R. Kelly and them come out the middle door of the venue from the back, it's so many girls chasing him that the police are getting trapped. And all of a sudden we all meet, boom. And Aaron's looking at him, he's, yo, I want to fight them. I said, fight him for what? He said, he ain't doing nothing but performing. I said, do you notice a lot of performers don't let you see what they do when they rehearse? Stop letting people come into the sound check and rehearsal, stupid. And that's how he lost, that's how R. Kelly, if R. Kelly would have just stayed R. Kelly and not did with Aaron, I don't think R. Kelly would be in jail right now. That's how well I knew R. Kelly and his security. And Ronald respect me highly.
So you said Aaron influenced the nasty and
That's
R.
right.
Kelly.
Yes, he did. Yes, that's where R. Kelly got it from. Pump and grind. I can remember, man. We on the road. We in DC at Capsa. Guy security was so tight. We made the other securities with Hammer and all that group. They came to me personally and asked me, was it okay if they sort of dressed like us? I said, brother, just how you doing? I said, you feel like you see the uniform, that's what you do. Because Hammer's cousin Will, my man, he was a Marine. So it touched us when we came to the venue. We look up and everybody think that's our security too. No, that's Hammer's security. And everybody, and Hammer said, yo, Big Buffo, you teaching, brother, you teaching. Thank you, man, him and Peter. You know, to see other brothers want to try to move like us. Well, this day, right, we in the venue, right, and we get a call. It's somebody in the parking lot of the venue while the show's going on. And he is clocking guy material. He got guys, shirts, hats. I'm talking about, they said that him and his crew is killing. And all of a sudden you hear on the tour, on the next state, yo, son, some ninjas, something about some real ninjas, son, came out of nowhere, son. I don't know who they was. They wasn't playing, son. They confiscated everything. The material, the money. The dudes got beat down. And this happened in 5 states. And they still don't know who it is. It was going like this. They turned it up, Doc. They got up out of that alley because they realized it was the wrong people. That was the wrong ones to sit back there. They seen the twins. The whole game changed. I said, this thing is real, son. This thing ain't no joke. Me and who? We the only 2 dudes on earth.
Talk about it.
We're in Los Angeles in love. Said everybody, let them know she introduced us to other major players. They can give us a deal
on our own.
On our own.
Got nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that. We bring Ted in.
That's what we did wrong.
That's where we fucked up at. Thinking.
Because we so loyal.
Because we so loyal, but the ones that I just want to be a star weren't loyal.
He couldn't believe them people would give us that multi-million-dollar deal.
I said, man.
Because they weren't playing with you. They were serious women.
We walking around in the building, Los Angeles Center Studio. We meeting every fucking movie director from SWAT to Jason to Spielberg. We meeting these people in the building, me and who getting like a rapport with them. You know who crazy is? He all up in their office eating bird. I'm down there, look. I'm training, they watching me, they getting to know us. The dude says to me, hey, Grandmaster Sifu, can I speak to you? What's wrong, sir? He said, come on off. He said, you think that guy, young man, Teddy White, he's an awesome producer. think he could do the soundtracks for these movies? My eyes got bigger than this mirror. I said, yeah, he could do the sound. I said, you want to talk? We want to have a meeting with him about it. You'll be paid if this goes down. I went and told his name. I went and told his interview. What did he tell me? Who? I ain't interested.
I ain't interested. And where they store? All the officers we gonna have at the top floor. Remember they took us up.
Well, give us the whole top floor.
The whole top floor.
Los Angeles Studio.
You can't believe it. They explained that to him, and he still
He
said,
still was there, though.
I don't have no interest.
Wayne came and said, "Fool." I just sat down with that lady you introduced me to, and we're gonna make this happen. He had the contract. When Teddy saw the money that me and Hoop was about to receive, he did that shit so quickly, like, and his favorite line is this. He told me, he told my top gun Khalid, he told my top student Ranger, you're not stars, we're the stars. And right today, no bro, I love you to death, but how you treated us, I had to do a double take and check myself so I don't wreck nothing. You know, you're afraid of somebody who couldn't even walk. I could run, walk, and climb. But I never thought I'd hurt you, not one day. But being the best big brother I could be to you. And what you gave me, your back and your ass. I said, because when that frozen fish was sent to you, you would have thought I was the municipal building. You would have thought I was the courtroom, the district attorney, the police department, the hospital, and all. And you wasn't even dead yet. The guy's security very special. We caught you in the audience with a camera. That venue told you no cameras. That before we performed, it tells you no cameras. So I trained my men. If they spotted that red dot in the audience, you could be in the 9th balcony. Guarantee you by the time you leave, you didn't have no camera or phone. We had so many different cameras and phones, we sold a bunch of them. That's how many cameras and phones we collected on tour, because people want to sneak the cameras into the venues and film, and you're not supposed to do that. All my top disciple, Brother Khalid, Charles Yates, Steve Ranger, and C. Joe Muchaka Bear. That was real security of God. That God had no problems. When Aaron and them had a couple of their own people, in which some good brothers from Brooklyn, and they all looked up to me, you know. And I'll never forget, Eddie told Aaron, look, man, don't make me beat you up in front of everybody. And I quit. I don't need no money from you or your brother. And then SQ left with him, and that's how El Shemeka ended up with Damien. Because El Shemeka is my man Big Mo from Brooklyn, our cousin. You know, I had just told El Shemeka, oh man, stand down, man. You know, stop being rude and bullying people, man. You big dude. I said, you're gonna scare somebody. Well, El Shemeka took it, you know, did something on Damien's birthday down there at Kilimanjaro. He mushed this Jamaican woman in the face and took the cane and like sort of hit her, sort of in the forehead. My husband was right there. He said, come on, baby. He walked to the car. He said, no, I just want a picture. He said, this is how you treat her. He said, so El Shemeka mushed him. He said, yes, I'm a big man. I'll be back to talk to you. You could tell this cat did this before. The cat walked out of the club with his wife put in the car. Walked to his trunk, got that Glock, came 2 Glocks, walked in and emptied one of the Glocks in El Shemeka. Damien body. You know the only interest Damien and them had about El Shemeka laying on that floor? Daddy did a doorknob. Because El Shemeka was holding Damien's money. And the only thing he was interested in was getting his money out of El Shemeka's pocket and getting out of here. And that's just what he did. El Shemeka laying on that floor. It's a story that never, you know, and then I come all the way I'm home back home. I meet El Shemeka's cousin, Big Mo. Mo said, my cousin is El Shemeka. I said, this guy right here, I showed him the picture. He said, yeah, that's my cousin. I said, oh shit, that was my man. And, you know, El Shemeka, when I listen to me, he'd still be alive today. Ooh, you are this shit. First of all, it wasn't no New Edition Bodyguard. It was New Edition Brody. A clown named Flash or something. Huh? And I don't know what part he got mixed up, but he must have thought we was from Scarsdale or something, you know, because he had some soldiers from the hood out from New York, you know, and New Edition, you know, he did their thing on our tour, but you ain't headlining a Guy tour. You ain't gonna tell Guy put you on this tour. It's $1 billion something tour, man. So you put on the show, you put on the tour. Now you singing your songs and the venue's hollering, "Hey, oh God, hey, oh God." So the promoter got to put Guy up because they tired of hearing him sing Candy Girl. Shorty's just falling out of the balcony. Teddy's jam, they screaming. I didn't even know the Coliseum moved in North Carolina. The whole damn building moved. The balcony, the floor, I was amazed. Like, and we were the first tour, first R&B group in the world to ever perform in the Charlotte Coliseum when they first opened, when the Charlotte Hornets first became a basketball team. That's how I know. Every wife of the Charlotte Hornets was at our show. They was in the front, and I had to secure them. Man, you know, they've done it all, man. It's a lot of hard work. And when we're doing all this, man, in Charlotte, New Edition, they wanted to be Guy. But I'm sorry, Guy was a live band and live singing. They didn't use tracks to sing. Only thing really was on track was the percussion. Because they didn't want Damien to know that he cut the microphone off. But Damien danced a little behind him. But I know my sons and my old brother were drum majors at Maryland University. And I understand rhythm and beat. And I understand from a music director that got frustrated. And you don't know you didn't cut the mic off. Because Teddy would do a little certain signal to safety, and which was the sound and control man on the board on the stage on the left of us, and safety would cut the percussion off. But when Damien playing, Damien just know he doing his thing, and ain't none of that shit. The only person they hear is 8-4. And yeah, and the keyboard and the motherfucking and Dave and Ted and motherfucking Kern and Joe, right? That's what you gonna hear. So you know, there's so much, man, that went on stage. And New Edition, for you ain't the headliner, you've been brought on the tour. For you, Michael Bivins, to catch an attitude because y'all, I don't care how hard y'all tried, you wasn't fucking with them three little niggas, God. And you gonna pull the power cord and think nobody from the East Coast going, hey, dude, you from the East Coast, you have to know you're gonna get sunglasses out. And my two brothers, you know, they started had to hit this dude flash to go swing the microphone. He ended up getting spinning back kicked in the audience, you know what I mean? And then, you know, with this, you know, they sing out, they ain't fighters out, you know, they from the hood too, but, you know, they ain't on that level, you know, they should stick to singing, you know. Everything went haywire. After Charlotte, went to Pittsburgh, lose Anthony B. Still in Manila, rumble from A to Z. Flash, he really caught it. He might not even be a roadie no more, but he got it Hyde Park looking for his actions that, yo man, you know, I don't care. You know, there's enough Michael Bivins, but you went along with him and pulled the cord so you get it right along with him. That's how it go. $1 million something show you pull. That's like the people filming me now and some nut walking here and pull the plug.
Catch it.
He gonna catch it, he gonna catch everything, equipment, sunglasses, everything. He be walking camera and shit. A mess. My favorite tour was the 68 City Winter Tour. So we did all the homecomings. We did every black homecoming in the United States, because Chris Latimer, my little brother, family took me and my family. He started that college African stuff where, and a couple of guys that, you know, were working on this film crew. Remember when I first came in the studio with it on, the next thing they seen the whole groups with it on, and next thing you know, we wore it on tour, and it blew up. When Guy did in the video with that African college stuff of my brother Chris Latimer, it blew out of the water. Now, you know how, and guess who the first people to wear it? Guy Security. Because my cousin, my little brother Chris, he was at Howard when we did Howard Homecoming, and they were selling the hoods. I said, yo, give me some of the hoods. We're gonna wear them on the stage tonight. And when we came out on the stage with that African college stuff on, everybody and their mother started buying it. And the next thing I know, it was in Mason, Abraham, and Strauss. That came from the school, from us doing it. You know what I mean? With the move to Virginia, we were in Atlanta, you know. Next door to Dominic Birthday shop. You know, school basketball playing next to taller than this building. But we were there, and Gene was there, and Ted made a decision. We want to look at some houses in Virginia, so I'll join him. Talk to some real estate people because he lived down there, or had lived down there. So me and Ted flew down to VA and looked at a bunch of houses. And the first house he found was on Lord's Landing, off of I would say South Lynn Haven, because North Lynn Haven is where the mall is. South Lynn Haven, because it's over there at Great Neck High School where my daughter graduated from. Anyway, you know, black people lived in North Lynn too. We pulled up real cute, you know. It was a major change. When he first arrived, it was such a change that he couldn't go nowhere by himself, you know. You know, had to be with me because, you know, that's when like still sparking, you know, but like on fire. So I got a VA. I sort of like to, you know, after a while, started adjusting. And, you know, went to a few of them clubs, you know. So like VA out, you know what I mean? Because there's some mean biscuits in mean biscuits out. Teddy was he was with Guy, he wasn't with Guy. Rex and Effect was start, you know, Rex and Effect. If Rex and Effect could have just been Rex and Effect, them young boys would have been just like Wu-Tang. They'd have been out doing their thing, but when you want to be in everything, sometimes you destroy things. You see? And eventually, there was no more Guy, then Blackstreet started to form. You know, the original Blackstreet was off the chain. Guy was gone before Virginia. Guy was gone before Virginia. Guy was just totally king apart, I believe, after Paramount and Madison Square Garden. That's what, you know, we call Paramount. When we did the last major show when we came back from Tokyo. You know, it's just, you know, the enviness and the jealousy, and, you know, and the lust, and, you know, it was so much, you know, it's like, you know, and then, you know, just watch the behavior, you know, and then young men, you know, that had everything, but had no discipline. Had no, what we say, you know, when you have the artist development, well, that starts at home. Aaron kicked up the bus several times, you know. We're on our way to DC, DC, my fact. Everything happened every He was going to DC. Aaron wanted to jump on this young man named Chris Thomas, the comedian. I'm from HBO. He got the eyes, the big eyes. Well, Chris, he's funny dude. That's his job. It's his job, right? So, on the two of us. And Aaron, he sang. I used to tell him when he would talk, sing. And I understand what you're saying. Okay. So he went to mess with Chris Thomas. Now, this is this dude's profession. I'm on my top bunk. I'm chilling. Sadiq, he's playing somebody from Russia in chess or the computer. Sadiq, big brother, Siri. Like, also the Aarons, Keith and Damien, and they ain't laughing. Aaron little jokes at Chris. All of a sudden, Chris was sitting there. He hadn't seen him for a long time. For a long time. The bus driver almost crashed the bus. It was so funny what he said. He came up off the couch. He said, "Now, Aaron, you must have tranquility and reality about your conversation instead of steps." All of a sudden, I'll punch you in your face. I'll punch you in your face. Chris said, "Now, Aaron, you can joke, but you can't be joked at," right? And Aaron went to swing, and Chris went back like this. The next thing you know, big brother Sadiq jumped up. And Sadiq, like, "Captain, you so sure." If anybody knew Captain, you so sure. So like, rest in peace. Sadiq jumped up from that table, from that chess set, and he said, "Look, brother, you better sit your little skinny E.T. body down before I put you down." And next thing you know, the whole bus was crying. I'm on the top bunk. I'm laughing so bad, I turned the TV up on my bunk, because I'm like, why did he put himself in this situation, Aaron, and I've seen them three on the road get mad at each other and want their own tour bus. Teddy could pay for it. Aaron could pay for it for just a little while. Damien, you better dare even think about it. Because that's how much a tour bus goes. It costs almost $1,500 to fill it. So I just see them just do a lot of things to one another that you go, I wouldn't do this to one of my brothers or friends in a million years, and I don't care what I have, what we're doing. We do a lot of stuff right to this day. I'm going, just too much loyalty in me. Man, we had one hellified girl, women's group, which was Minga and Mary from Jersey, and the young lady from Atlanta. Tiny, and there's another one from Atlanta too. Nice hair, right? She had this one, so she was singing too, so I'm sure. And me, I don't know, I guess we had a raised and how I come up and I do it myself and all that. And no violence about disrespect. I see it from a beautiful young lady violating disrespect just because who I am. It doesn't go like that. And you wonder why karma hits you back in the ass. Everything I ever did in my life, I paid my debt to society. With the time for it, didn't call nobody. I have no damn money. Somebody send me a frozen fish, I'm gonna go holler at them. I don't use golden money. Version Records, I was with him we did I was with Michael, I was when he did Boy Joe. I was when he did Adoration. Okay, Patty LaBelle, Keith Sweat, the Sweat,
That's the album that was made in the bathroom you talking about?
Yes, sir, made in the bathroom, 129 St. Nick, son, in the bathroom, vocals and all that. The Guy song, first Guy album song, done in the bathroom, I tell you, that business game, whack. That music game, Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna no front on that. I ain't never seen somebody just unwire a whole damn system just because one wire. This is how much of a fanatic he was, a fanatic, but also, I'm gonna say,
Particular.
he was particular, no question. But this one, when he was on fire, either, he couldn't, he was like Michael Jackson walking around about this. He couldn't just be dolo out, and then, did like the women out, you know what I mean? So, you don't know who he might have hollered at and somebody swore coming around the corner. So, his game was this, not, none of this, all of that and turn the button, cool, you know what I mean? But all that, rough house stuff wasn't his nature, you know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of them cats be fronting, they do. That's why they in boxes right now. When Joe Stone Street did, I said, they got something going on. Joe Stone Street, right? The street, right? That was real street too, son. Rest in peace, bro. Joe Stone Street, I don't care what group he in. When he was gone, he called me. Touched my heart, man. He called me one day on Christmas just to speak to me, man. You know what I mean? Joe Stone Street was real, good brother, man. And that's when Black Street was Black Street. Then Dave came, still Black Street. Next version, too much church job. Black Street was a group. I could go to Calvary on Sunday. I ain't coming here to church. Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, I came here Black Street. Feel me? It's like if I'm the leader of the crew, we all eat. So if he fall, me and you put something together, he back up. That's a crew. But if I only have it, and y'all have nothing, and I don't want to see y'all eat, I'm the new slave master. The decline was the word. Word is decline. If you don't have nothing else but your word, that's very valuable thing. And then you have accountability and responsibility for words you use or people you use. It's okay to use your man for something positive, but not to misuse. You see, I was raised and taught and trained not to leave no one behind. When you said, they saw a fool, they said, Teddy, where's Teddy at? You said, Teddy, a fool, I know fools, right there. I had people call me from California, all over the world, said, who's this dude with Teddy? I said, I don't know. I said, what you don't know? No, Teddy ain't, no, he ain't get it. Yeah, I said, they don't even talk to me, they don't even call me. You tell the world I'm his brother and don't want me to say, because, I learned something, as an adult, grandmaster, a student. Every teacher has a teacher. That you gotta look in that mirror, man, and clean up that reflection that you know that's wrong. When you don't, you ain't gonna have peace with yourself, right? Don't come hollering peace at me when I'm laying in a box. You could have did it while I was alive. I was fired more than people were hired at Future Records.
That was an uncomfortable position to try to fire you, right?
Yeah. Damn right, that's what it would be hard to fire myself with this thing. I was not fired. I was fired because I wasn't yes man. I I was fired because I told him about 2 different managers he hired, Donna Moore, Tom Farrell. They robbing you up. Oh fool, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I know you're knocking off Donna Moore and you got Tom Farrell here, right, to embarrass your cousin Chris. You know. I didn't quit because of my children, you know, or leave or do anything to him because I got so close to his children and mom and family that family to me. Anybody else would have done what he tried to do, what he's done? I don't know. That's all I can say. It would be like unknown. You know, anybody know me know what that means. Feel me? More than a frozen fish. Let's see. Now on television, talking about physically. What's that? Mohegan Lake, up in Connecticut. They were performing. Him, Dave Hollister, and other brothers. You know, Bull was there. You know, Rodney Wright. You know, photographer who's been with us since Guy. You know, he was there. You know, Rodney Wright telling GM. You know, hold on for a second. You know, somebody better hurry up because, you know, it sounds ridiculous. You know, telling me, hold on for a second. At the photographer. I had to talk to middleman so many times, and every time I think about some of these things, you know, major situations happening in his life, I was there, you know. Over 75 Paru walked up on him about that check he needed to sign. Only one that they respected was me. Got nothing to show love. You know him, that they were not playing when they came to holler at him. Okay, I'm a cat. Ain't none of this Drew, none of the guys who supposed to be down. They was in the crowd, son, blended into the crowd like they was. What's that thing on Avatar? They could just change, right? That's just what they did because I was the only one standing there. And when a certain individual pulled up, say, "Bo, what's up, bro? Where you at? You need to get makeup on now." Tell my nigga holler. I'm gonna sit 1 second. Yo, he in a room. It's hot as hell outside. He in a room though, could freeze that soda. When I said, "Who's outside to him?" and the lady put the makeup started dripping. I said, I was looking at him like, you sick or something? Yeah. And then here come Michael James. Tell him, I'll be right out. I said, okay. I said, yo, bro, big bro, yeah, that was so. I said, he'd be right out. He said, all right, what you up to, baby? What's going on? I'm cool, baby. You know, everything's good, son. I said, you know why I am here? He said, oh, nothing but respect, bro. I feel you.
Who was that that came and pushed up on him?
My brother Mike Deception.
I met Vic and Mitchell with the Troy Mitchell cousin, in turn, Troy introduced me to Tony Brown introduced me to Sifu. All that was one time. It was all at one time. When I came back off tour with Warren G and Heavy D and all, I came back home to tend to my oldest son and some affairs. And that what brought me into staying here and working with the guys here, my family. So when me and Sifu was just hustling. And he's always been our way and had nothing to do with no entertainment. It's just my brother off the bat. So, you know what I'm saying? So after that, we created a brotherhood that never stopped.
Oh, it's a French too? Okay.
It was a long time coming for all the years for us to get to this point. A lot of things happened. I let Sifu tell you about it. I feel it. But from that point on, in 1993,
This is separate checks. One check. What's going to do?
Okay.
1993.
One check.
1993.
Yo, order your
Got
food.
poured on.
Order your food.
1993. Got poured on. I was with Sifu, Tony Brown, and the rest of the family. You know what I mean? Victor, Sory, everybody.
Future records. man.
Feature records. It was all good.
So, we the only two dudes on earth on
Talk
the East
about it.
Coast walk anywhere in Los Angeles and love us. Because we didn't go out there being disrespectful. We didn't go out there playing with people's, families or being, ain't the trouble dudes. We the dudes are in it, you know what I mean, if you started. But the way we carried it, we was accepted anywhere we went in Los Angeles, man. I mean, with E40, to T. Rogers, to Salah, to Mustafa Bay, to Big U. You see how I'm talking? You don't know them names. I'm not watching TV talking these names. I know these cats
Even
like
Black
that.
Diamond.
Yeah, even Black Diamond. Even Black Diamond. You know Power. And even Suge Knight. You know what I mean? Even Big West. Okay? They're my dogs, Doc. You understand? Listen, I know I come through Compton. I go through East LA. And Chicano said, there go New York's Professor, Grandmaster. And what I loved about them, I used to see the guy who was in the park boxing, and they looked and guy who named Rooster, So they would be boxing, and I saw this father and these twins who, I'm so proud of these two young boys because today these two Mexican kids are professional boxers. I'm talking about what belts and welterweight, and I was accepted in this park, and they saw me at first with 2 students. The next thing you know, they saw me with 30, 40 students like Bruce did. Oh man, it was like late 90s. Because I remember, I was in LA with Los Angeles Studios. That was early
2000.
2000, yeah. And then I departed for good. It was like 2002, 3, something like that.
Yeah, 2002.
2002, I was there. It was a wrap, It's like couldn't eat another day of Popeyes. Okay, we ate Popeyes for a year. I'm protecting your life. I gotta eat Popeyes for a year. So, I know I've been trained to do a lot of things, but I got tired of making someone look good, like they really were doing me good, and they wasn't. I work with Bon Jovi, I work right now, I deal with Tom Selleck, Donnie Wahlberg, Blue Bloods, I worked with Ugly Betty, I worked on Malcolm X, I worked with Drop Zone, Changing Faces, I worked on 50 Violins on Mel Street and Angela Bassett, I worked with Jack Nicholson, I worked with Nicolas Cage, matter of fact, my man, my disciple, Steve Ranger, he's my man, Happy Madison, what's the actor name?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler. I'm very close. I know Adam Sandler and his wife and the baby. Me in UCLA there. Been around. The Shamrocks. The Peter Theas and some real awesome people. Jimmy Iovine, Ted Fields. Know me by name. And they seen me put work in Florida. Director. They had borrowed this. Young boy had this pink Cadillac out with the white leather interior and the white drop top with the white balls. That was that piece in the video. So the director, the young boy, the white kid, with his best friend, his brother, they from south side of Miami. And he's from the street side. So the director turned around thinking he talking to Teddy in there. And young boy said, next thing you know, the young boy opened his trunk and pulled out a Bowie knife. But he don't see me in the bushes, but Ted Fields and Jimmy Iovine is leaning against a car, and they see me directly in the bushes. And what they bear witness to, how suddenly I disarmed the young man without hurting him and tossed him up on the hood and took the knife and said, "You right, all the right in the world to go chop his head off," what he said to you. I said, "But you're gonna get paid for this car being in this video. Everybody see this car gonna wanna be around you." I said, "And you're gonna have a good life." I said, "So you wanna go sit in a box, 5x9, 9x9? And he said, "No, sir." He said, "Thank you." I handed him the knife back and said, "Put it in the trunk." And his man picked me up the next morning, drive me up and down Collins Avenue. I'm sitting like I'm the man, you know, in the back of a pink white caddy. You know, that was easy, man. Well, you know, ace. You know what I mean? I bet, man, if you know, this job was diffuse situations, not creative. I'm a people's person, and that was another thing they didn't like because everyone liked me or knew me. You know what I mean? A lot of cats from the streets, they want to get, you know, that major players that we all know that, you know, they want to tie in and holler, you want to manage, or you want to manage. That's the first line, right? That's to get some paper. Then they fall into that trap when they get some paper, they never get their paper back, and he's praying they get knocked. Come on now, talk about it. I'm from the street, I'm tired of niggas keep hollering from the street. The only thing you did in the street is walk across the street out. Well, Sory Watts, you know, I'm a teacher at 200 Water Street, big school in New York, originally from White Plains, New York. The talent of peace skill and important man has shown me more love in a short period of time with White Plains than I've been there all my life from. I'm the headmaster of the first boxing gym. I'm also one of the boxing trainers. I'm also one of the boxers in the gym as well. You feel me? I train, you know, each one teach one. So, you know, my top disciple, West, right? He is the head trainer in his gym. Was trying to find me, just like many other brothers trying to find me because of my gift. And I'm so busy out here protecting people that I'm neglecting my own gift.
My name is Craig Jacobs. I'm a trainer at the Be First Boxing. And I grew up in Peace School all my life. Basically, I played football. I was an all-county football star recruited by Penn State, Syracuse, University of Maryland, and Boston College. I had a car accident my senior year and got into some physicalities and wasn't able to further my career. I had the pleasure of meeting Sifu. I always heard about Sifu, number one. I always heard about him, you know, doing good things in the community. He's somewhat of what you call a legend. I had the pleasure of meeting him, I want to say about 2 years ago. He came to Be First Boxing Gym and gave a demonstration. And the demonstration was phenomenal. Basically a class on self-defense and martial arts and Wing Chun in general. And everything I heard about him was true. He's an asset to the community. He's all for the kids, and he's a good person just to meet. And I like to say he's my brother, and he's a good man. Yes, I'm also heavily involved in the church. I'm what you call an armor bearer to my pastor, Pastor Don Foster at Yorktown Assembly of God Church. I like to say John 15:13 says, there's no greater love than for a man to lay down his life for his friend. And that's the type of man that Sifu is. He gives his all to the people he lived. Not only will he die for him, he also live for him. And he's a good dude to know.
The Lord gave me the opportunity back, you know, and I'm back totally in the circuit, you know. I'm international on the microphone, you know. I'm Michael Jordan, Steph Curry on that court, you know. If you catch some of my footage or something of me, executing a performance, you'll see that there's a zero tolerance, you feel me? You might not even see what I did, just notice the person was on the floor all of a sudden.
My name is JR. Everybody calls me JR, but I'm a recording engineer, and I go by the name of George Mayers as my credits. I met Sifu when I first started working with Ted back in the early 90s, I guess it was, at Future here in Virginia Beach. Sifu's my brother, you know what I mean? Had a lot of good memories and stuff like that. I mean, very lively person, you know, very respectable, very intelligent, very physical, especially for what he was. He definitely lived up to his reputation, you know what I mean? I guess you would say, you know, being in the studio was more calm. Didn't get to go see him out on the road as much because we was, you know, mainly in the studio a lot. Heard a lot of the stories. Did get to see one or two things, you know. am having to deal with certain people at times.
Yeah, so him being at the studio, Teddy being at the studio, him being responsible for, Teddy's safety and security at the time, with Teddy being at the studio, Sifu was around as much as Teddy was around, pretty much, huh?
Yes. Probably just basically living at the studio like everybody else, you know what I mean? As long as Teddy's in, even when he wasn't there, you know what I mean? Wherever he was, he had to be there too.
Right.
So doing what he does is, not much of a life either, you know what I mean? You always got to be with your client, especially who he was doing it for.
Right. And, he got, like I said, it was more of a domestic environment because you had kids around,
family,
dogs around. You want a story about the dogs, Sifu and the dogs?
Yeah, so many stories. Used to be out there with the dogs in the dog pen and out there punching the bark over the trees and, and breaking bricks with his bare knuckles in the parking lot and shit like that. Very much true. I'll probably repeat a lot of what everybody else say about him because it's all true. Well, I mean, in those situations, it's that love-hate thing, because they had that very, very close relationship, which I didn't get involved with because I don't know, I came in, met the bond there already, that brotherly bond that they had. Yeah, there were times, and whatever went down, shit happens, and it's like,
Yeah, because Sifu was like, Sifu, he was loyal to Teddy. He was,
very loyal, always there. Call him his little bro. Would never let not even a fly land on him. You know what I mean? Everybody should be so lucky to have somebody like Sifu around. For real. I don't know what happened, but I was behind Sifu. This is really a true story. Mm-hmm. And some dude sucker punched Sifu and punched him in his head and shit. Sifu had just leaned to the fucking side and straightened back up, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it's on now. Go outside in the parking lot, and the fucking security guards is holding people back because this motherfucker out there fucking 3 motherfuckers up at one time, tossing one this way, and all that kind of shit. Yes. I was like, man, that was the first time I seen him kick somebody ass. Yeah. He put in some work that night. 3 motherfuckers he was fucking up. And
all that he jumped through the window?
No, that was I wasn't there for that one. That
wasn't on Newtown Road. That was on GB.
Yeah, he threw the dude through the window. Yeah. I guess the dude was being disrespectful and shit. He threw him, not through the window, through a glass door. Like, a whole glass door and shit. He threw the motherfucker right through the fucking glass door. Sifu's no joke, my brother. Alhamdulillah. Love you to death, my brother. All respect.
I'm originally from Peekskill, New York. Actually born and raised in Peekskill, New York. I left Peekskill 20 years ago. And, I moved down to White Plains where Sifu, Professor Tony Watts, was introduced to me. I heard a lot of good things about him. However, from the time I met him, he was like a day one to me because my definition of a day one is he's always been the same from day one. We didn't grow up together, but the knowledge and the relationship that we built was genuine from 20 years up to now. You know, I trained a little bit under him in the martial arts. We trained a lot here in Peekskill. Like I said, I branched out from Peekskill to White Plains. Is when I got formally introduced to Grandmaster, and he familiarized me with his system, which is Swam and Wing Chun and Jiu-Jitsu. He's an elder. He's an elder. You know, he's a year older than me, but he's always been a big brother to me. You know, and always respected him for that. You know, I mean, I can go on and on with this, but you know, to sum it up, he's always been a genuine individual in my life.
Yosemite Park, town of Greens. That's where it all started, man, you know, teaching. This is one of the areas that I taught the children and the youth. You know, when I first came back home, couldn't get a building. Everyone wanted to tell you, you know, I just came from working with millions of people. They put my life on the line for them. And promised, get you a building. This has been my building. Taught the kids, you know, in the sun, in the rain, in the cold. I mean, train under that cathedral. You know, I don't know if people know what a cathedral is, but it's a spiritual thing as well. It's not just something you just say. You know, you have weddings, you have a lot of peaceful things and events here on the cathedral. This is where they hold the jazz festival. For me and Shion Klaikoi, stickman of Kyokushinkai. We're the two masters in this area, and that's one of my uncles from Kyokushinkai's brother in the martial arts who studied under Master Yama. That's one of my elders. Me and my class would always show courtesy, but I'm the one who initially started the training under this steeple, and Shion taught inside the center. So one day we all were out here, and the people in the neighborhood said it looked like Enter the Dragon was going on. They never seen so many martial artists in the park. You see people, what we all have in common is to develop mind, body, and spirit. It's not about ego, who's better. The art is better than all of us. It's us striving to become better, to learn the art. Us, you say it, each one teach one. Eye to eye, heart to heart. That means every teacher has a teacher. You mess with one person in this clan with eye to eye, heart to heart, you gotta mess with everyone. So, you see, we come in peace. We say, peace be unto you, son. We come in peace. We don't want to leave nothing in pieces. But, you know, society and people in general just take integrity, humility, and humbleness to be a weakness in some people who don't know. That's some of, like myself, one of my greatest strengths is to allow me not to ever harm you or hurt you. So maybe if I didn't have that, who knows?
My name is Wes Arterby, and I'm actually the director of Peekskill Be First Boxing, which you see here. And you know, we've been around for about 13 years. We're a non-profit organization for kids and adults at risk kids. And you know, so you know, this gym right here has been very special to us because we were able to bring it to this community and really start to, you know, make connections with the community as far as them understanding the sweet science, you know, understanding, you know, how to deal with, you know, different issues that people do have and being able to let it out in the gym, you know. And I grew up with this type of gym, you know, in the Bronx when I was younger, and I wanted to bring it, you know, to this area because I knew it would be a great outlet. I met, you know, I was very fortunate to meet Grandmaster Watts, and I had actually heard about him before I met him, you know, because he has that name, that type of name. You know, he's infamous, but you know, everyone talked about his skill level. You know, everybody looked at his skill level. Right? He had a but no one really talked about who he was inside. And that's what meant even more to me. I searched for a grandmaster because I knew that his skill level was, really up there. I knew it was top of the line. But what I'm learning from him more is what's inside. He's teaching me, about patience, even more patience than I had. Confidence, never giving up, just incredible, so his martial way in totality is incredible. And that's what really attracted me to him. So I found him, finally, and he started to come. I actually, brought him to the Peak Skill B First Boxing. A couple people met him, and he was just so energetic, especially for his age. I mean, you can feel the power just radiating off him. And right now, he's been here for about 6 or 7 months, and it's been the best 6 or 7 months of the 13 years because of the addition of that spirit. You can feel it. So, I'm hoping that we continue with. We want to do things a lot bigger so that we can expose, everyone not only to Peak Skill B First Boxing, but to some of these gyms that we have, and I mean GEMS, that we have in this community that people just don't know about, and that being, Grandmaster Watts.
I deny it, and my older daughter, my daughter's period means a lot to me, but the baby, that's the last one, of the Mohinas with food, that's my pumpkin, I deny her, and, she used to be in her mother's, stomach, it's an active little baby, so I used to always hug, and I didn't realize eventually I started making it into a song. And then one day I was in the studio singing it, and Junior heard me. And Junior went, when I came out, I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Yo, I didn't know you could sing." I said, "Yeah, well, Theodore ain't gonna want you to know that." I said, "But I can't." He said, "Yeah, I know you can." He said, "I heard you say that." And he said, where you get that? I said, "I wrote that myself." He said, "It's about my daughter, Adonai Sune Shemariah Watts, one of Jehovah. Sune, one who is, Shemariah, one who was protected. And you know what Watts mean? My daddy, so it all goes together, So in my little song, only bodyguard might pull this on. I heard a little voice saying, "Mommy, Daddy." I heard a pretty voice saying, "Mommy, Daddy, it's your daughter, Adonai Sune Shemariah Watts. Daddy adores you, Mommy adores you so much. Adonai Sune Shemariah Watts. Daddy adore, Mommy adore, Daddy adore you so much, Adonai." Yeah, And be around a little bald-headed kid, I don't know what he thought of me, but me, I paid attention.
What's up? My name is Spray Doogie, producer for a lot of artists, Blackstreet, for many artists, Michael Jackson, Mary J. Blige. And you can look up, and see who I am. But I met Sifu when I was 19 years old. When I first got into the business, they came to our hometown and got a chance to meet him. And Gene Griffin, who was the manager of the Guy back then, invited us to come to New York to audition for today's band. Went there, and Sifu was an intricate part of that situation. I remember the night we met them. He's a small, at the time he's a small stature guy, but still strong. But I went to the hotel and we tried to walk past him, and he was like, "Sorry, my brother, you can't pass by." But then when you shook his hand, you understood that this just wasn't no regular small stature guy that was guarding these guys. But one major thing was once we got to New York and we got the gig today, we were going to the studio one night, and for some reason Gene decided, saying, hey, if you ain't working, you got to get out of the studio. So when I came down, so of course, Sifu said, assalamu alaikum to me, and I was like, I was trying to be a smart ass, and I said, Oscar mine was longer than you too. And saying, mind you, I'm like 6'2.5", like at the time probably like 3 something. Said he grabbed my hand and just flipped me on the ground. I left my feet, and my mind told me like, this nigga just knocked you on the ground. He could get up, but then my real brain kicked in like, the weight fool, that nigga just knocked you off your feet and he didn't even move. So, of course, that he gathered me a different respect for him as a security guard. Like, 'cause you heard stories, but we never got the chance to deal with them with certain things. That's why, it's funny because he and I have the same birthday, and so he always called me little bro, and so I call him big bro, and he always be trying to show me, show me stuff with his martial arts skills. But he was always doing some crazy, like, some crazy stuff, like as a bodyguard. He was always like the leader. He had a crew called Swarm back in the day with with Teddy, with Teddy and Gene that that originally came to VA. But those guys, man, they were relentless, and Sifu was like the head of those guys. It's like, they're going the whole field of, whole field of like fans with the group. You see people go out into the audience, they'll make this thing called a circle. And then be just the security guys. They be hand to hand, and you couldn't break that. You really couldn't break that chain. And like people just be trying to get in the middle of it. We would walk through a whole field of people inside this circle, and nobody could come in. And that was, for me, a 19-year-old kid, that's like super impressive. You see a dude that's smaller than me, constantly work out, doing stuff like that. The most craziest thing I ever seen him do was jump off a stage over a speaker and just end up in a crouching tiger position. And people think when I tell them that, I'm joking. I am not lying, bro. Aaron Hall goes into the audience, and they don't know where he is, but they hear him in the audience. Sifu see him down in the audience in the front of the stage, and he's up on the stage with the rest of the group. This dude actually jumped over like a side field, which is probably about this high. But the stage is up 8 feet. He jumps over the speaker, and we laying down on the ground. He laying down on the ground like a little position like this, and then he jumps up and jumps in front of Aaron like, so like he's guarding him. And my mind is like, what in the hell kind of Shaolin shit is this? Like, this dude is crazy. But over the years, after I got to know him a lot more and be around him a lot more, you really understood, he ain't no fake. He the real deal. He definitely the real thing. When it comes to his skill set and what he does, and his, his mindset about protecting the people that he's there to protect. He definitely was, mad cool guy. If he took to you, then you ain't, you really ain't had nothing to worry about. Like I said, he always called me little brother. So, when cats wanted, sometimes cats wanted to challenge me to do stuff, or challenge me, or try to, do something to me. He always, was like hovering around, like, yo, I don't want to mess with little brother. You don't want to do that. Another incident that, happened with, with that was, one of our security had a problem. We had a kind of like a little beef or whatever. We wasn't that major, but Sifu decided that, hey, like, bro, you don't want to mess with little brother like that. That's my little brother. You don't want to do that. The guy, he tall. He's like 6'6", 6'5", big. Muscle bound. I'm saying, yo, Sifu, you don't want to mess with this. You don't want to mess with this. So Sifu, stand up. He walk up to her chest to chest, and he's like, look, young brother, I'm gonna try to tell you, you need to calm down because I don't know how to do nothing to you. So they talking and you jabbing back. So Sifu used to have this Teflon knife that he used to keep. You ain't never know where it was at. But he pulls the Teflon knife. I'm standing behind him, so he pokes me with it. You know what I'm saying? I jump. I'm like, what is that? Then he showed me the tip, and so I'm like, what are you gonna do with this thing? So the dude, you know what I'm saying, my man Dave, you know what I'm saying, got rest in peace to him. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, bro, I promise you don't want to do that. So, you know, he's trying to do something smart and try to, you know what I'm saying, grab that Sifu. Sifu did some kind of Wing Chun joint. He was all over his body. And dude was like screaming, ow, 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 ow. But he was poking him. He was poking him with the tip of the Teflon knife. He didn't never break the skin. But he was poking him, and you can see that was, you know what I'm saying, he was touching, everywhere he was touching, he was jumping. And then he was like, we took his shirt off, he was like, yo man, what you do to me? He had all these red spots all over his chest. Well, he had poked him with the tip of the knife. I was like, yo, I said, man, I'm trying to tell you, dude ain't nothing to be played with, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, his skill set, he ain't nothing to be played with. He definitely ain't no fake, but you know what I'm saying? He always a good dude, you know what I'm saying? Good-hearted person. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if he looking out for you, he gonna protect you. He don't care who it is. He'll talk mad trash. He slapping the batteries out of people's chairs, all kind. He gonna go in 100% for you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never gotta worry about that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that Ted always, you know what I'm saying, was able to have around him, and he was able to take advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he die hard like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Not just only for Ted, for the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? We out with the crew. He gonna, you know what I'm saying, from myself, producers, to, you know what I'm saying, the artists, to people at the studio, he gonna go hard like that, and that just speaks to his character. You know what I'm saying? He ain't with no foolishness. You know what I'm saying? He always been a fair dude and try to make sure that he treat people like he want to be treated. And you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much, you know what I'm saying, Sifu in the gist of what we, you know, in the music world. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna find nobody. I don't think you'll find nobody that's more dedicated to the process of, you know what I'm saying, protecting, you know what I'm saying. When they say protect and serve, that's what, you know what I'm saying, he really do. You know what I'm saying?
I was in the studio just like the studio was sitting there 7 days a week. And I'll tell you the truth, I got $345 a week plus a tax. The little taxes were taken out. Me, the bodyguard, that the world, the industry know, mama know, family know, he know. Come on, yo. Truth, man, yo. I didn't quit because of my children, you know, or leave or do anything to him, because I got so close to his children and mom and family that family to me. Anybody else would have done what he tried to do, what he's done? I don't know. That's all I can say. It'd be like unknown. You know, anybody know what that means.
You know, everybody has a story to tell, but sometimes they only listen to the ones that speak up. My name is Tony Brown. I'm the director and the creator of this documentary that you're watching, Confessions of a Bodyguard, the story of my brother, Tony Sifu Watts. I met Sifu in 1991 when I started working at Teddy Riley's Future Recording Studio back in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I was a student at Norfolk State University and required to do an intern as part of my degree program. And I ended up getting an internship at Future Recording Studio. Teddy Riley was just moving to Virginia at the time, and he had this recording studio set up, and he allowed me to do an internship as an A&R representative, you know, finding new music and new content for his newly formed record label. So I met Sifu one day at the office, and we chopped it up for a couple minutes. You know, he told me he was a bodyguard, and I was immediately impressed because we had similar military backgrounds, we had similar martial arts backgrounds, and we bonded instantly. I think we played Simlim Tao, we sparred in the parking lot briefly, you know, just to fill each other out. And it was cool because, you know, we had that connection. Every day, every time I would see Sifu, it would be an exchange of knowledge. You show me something, let me show you something. It was always a great exchange of knowledge with him. He was doing kung fu classes inside of his house in Virginia Beach early, and he had his kids were like recruiters for his martial arts school because they were nice too. Crystal, his daughter, Tony, his oldest son, David, his middle son, my boy Soup, and his youngest son, M. Watts, Marcus. They was nice in martial arts. He used to have them doing rollouts and doing demonstrations for people because that's what the Chinese do. It's a family-oriented, you pass it down through the family. So he's part of a martial arts family that's passed down from Chinese people through a lineage, and he passed that down to his kids, and it was beautiful. So a lot of people that's been in this video so far has been talking about his accolades as a professional bodyguard or martial artist, but he's also a great man, a great human being. And like I said early on, I got to see the interaction between him and his kids. And growing up without a father, as a kid that grew up without a father, I made it a point to be a father when I had kids. And anytime I saw another father interacting with their kids, it always did something to my heart. So I loved him for that. Aside from that, he was Teddy's protector. No harm could ever befall Teddy as long as Sifu was around, because in Virginia, at Teddy's studio, it was like a recording studio, but after hours, it was like a little fun spot too, like a VIP upper echelon fun spot. You know, you had dope boys coming in there that had a fraction of the money Teddy had that would come in there and gamble, shoot dice, or, you know, play cards or whatever, and the stakes would get high sometimes, right? A lot of money be lost, a lot of feelings get hurt, a lot of people leave upset, but nobody came back on a rah-rah because they always knew Sifu was in the house, you know what I'm saying? So it was like before you get to Teddy, you had to go through Sifu. Before you get to Sifu, you had to come through my building because I was the studio manager. So a lot of people in Virginia looked at Teddy like a mark. They was like, oh, we could get him, you know, he got the flashy jewelry, he got the nice cars, he got all, you know, he loaded, that's the golden boy. But then the people who would make an attempt to do anything against him had to worry about the threat of Sifu. See, it was levels to it. You couldn't just get to Teddy any kind of way without coming through Sifu.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that much about Teddy other than just hearing his name on the street until a personal friend of mine got involved in it. With one of the people who had signed a contract with Teddy. And Teddy was supposed to pay him a certain amount of money, and Teddy didn't pay him. And Teddy talked disrespectful to him. And this dude right here, he had just put out a hit record. And he was a pretty good artist. So anyway, to make a long story short, he was married to my best friend's daughter. So when she called her father in Atlanta and told her daddy what was going on, and he asked her why they were supposed to be moving to Philadelphia before they went to California. And when he asked her, well, why haven't y'all left yet? Because she and this particular artist who I'm talking about, they were living with my friend. They stayed with my friend for about a year. And I guess he was just getting tired of them. So when he told this particular artist I'm talking about what was the problem, he was saying that Teddy was holding his money up and didn't want to release his contract. So when my best friend looked into the matter, he found out that Teddy was real disrespectful, and I ain't got time to talk to him, so and so and so. So my partner flew down here, and he contacted me, and he said that I'm gonna have to go here and talk to Teddy and find out what's going on because it was affecting his daughter. And the first thing we did was we had some intel, and they told us that Teddy lived there. That we rode down the wood. We were living in Church Point. Like I was off Hampton Boulevard, you're going straight down to one tunnel. And we went out there. Matter of fact, that's the same community with Bruce Smith, B.P. Whitaker, and the coach from Virginia Tech stayed out there too. So we went out there and we was just looking at the area where he lived at and all that. He had a nice home. They were working on the swimming pool in his yard and on his gate. I said, well, we can't forget where this house is at because he had a musical note up on the gate. And so then we went over into the studio and we was casing the studio out, just checking it out, looking around and all that. And so the guy told us, be careful now. Said, you ain't got to worry about tenant too much. But you got to worry about, he got a fool that's sitting there by the door and he keeps a sawed-off shotgun taped up under his desk. And he was a soldier. He ran up in there and there was gonna be some gunplay because he definitely would shoot. And the people who went there, they were gonna shoot too. Of course, I didn't go. I was just sitting back watching. So anyway, and that's when they said about it. And they went over there like 2 or 3 times. And I remember one time they went over there. I think it was for real.
So they told you about the shotgun I had taped underneath my desk.
Yeah, the shotgun taped up on his desk, and then you was a heavyweight around there for security. And when Teddy had a problem, he would always run back to you. And Sifu, which was a martial arts expert out of New York, and they said he was deadly too. But they said the Sifu and them, you could talk to him. He was a pretty fair cat, but you couldn't go to him with no gorilla shit and thought you were going to run a shake up on him. He wasn't built like that. So either if you dealt with him on those terms, it was going to be some drama. And they said Tony was less negotiable. We had pretty good intel and guys who knew these. I didn't know either one of them person. So they were saying, well, if we was trying to go the easy route, because really, a lot of that could have been negotiated, because Teddy had owed the boy a nice piece of money, and he wouldn't get the boy, cut him loose from the contract. So that was just our main objective, just to talk to him and say, look, man, you can't do what you're doing. You need to get that man his money. And as far as the contract goes, that's between y'all lawyers, but you can't just take his money. You can't do that. It's going to be a serious problem. And that's how it started. So when the guys was talking about it, they were saying, well, you ain't got to worry about it because you got to worry about 2 people. So one of them don't even be here all the time. But the one you have to worry about is this cat named Tony. He sits beside the desk. You got to go past him and get in the establishment. Because we had contemplated no matter if the push came to a shove, how to deal with it. Whether it be at the studio, his home, or the streets, or whatever. So we had contingency plans, and everybody was looking, at this and that. And then they brought this cat name up named Sifu. And they were saying that he was deadly. And like myself, it was kind of ironic because all 3 of us that was in the equation were airborne rangers. So I knew the qualifications of a ranger. I knew what they were capable of doing. So, and I was telling that to my partner who was non-military. I said, no, man, you can't do no whole lot of talking, going there bullshitting because you're going to be late because they're trained to go. And I love both of them to death. I don't be around Sifu that much. Only time I get a chance to kick it with him is when he come in town to see Tony, another one of his friends. But over the years, I got to met him.
It was levels to it, but Sifu was right there protecting that man, his family, and doing favors beyond what a bodyguard would normally do. That was like on some it was on the level of loyalty, and to have somebody work for you as a bodyguard, you have to feel like they're going to be loyal. They have to have something in them. One of the first bodyguards ever mentioned in history is David. David that swung the rock and killed Goliath. He was actually the king's bodyguard and went to the Philistines. He was actually appointed to be the king's bodyguard before he became a king. So that says something about the attribute of the type of person that wears that title, bodyguard. And Sifu wears it well. By the time I got to being a studio manager, a manager in Teddy's studio, you know, we got major celebrities coming through. We got Michael Jackson coming through. We got Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, Tom Jones. We got major celebrities coming through. And not only is Sifu responsible for Teddy's security, but he's responsible for the security of everybody in that building while we're working, right? And he took that job seriously. Like I said with Sifu, I say a person that lives this warrior lifestyle. Sifu almost talk like a little Chinese guy. When you see him, when he get deep into his philosophy, you almost look like, you almost think, if you close your eyes, you think he was talking to a Chinese man. So he like lives this martial arts philosophy to the fullest. And because he's not a yes man or not, you know, like stroking your ego. But when the threat of violence or the threat against your life is real, you know, you need that kind of person that's respected. Not only, see, it's more than being a bodyguard than just being able to fight. It's a level of knowledge and wisdom that you employ to defuse and de-escalate situations. A lot of times, you get out of situations by talking that could have turned out way worse had you went a violent route. So I applaud him for that, because I seen him negotiate as well as I seen him fight. Sifu is one of those people who live the lifestyle. He's a warrior. You know, it's a difference between a soldier and a warrior. A soldier enlists for a period of time, but a warrior is a lifestyle. And Sifu lives his martial art ability as a lifestyle.
My future is, man, I want to go and help some people that really need help, that not playing with the help, not gonna come back to me with the same problem. I want to go help some people that really know how to war. You see all these people over there, homeless. Let's build some homes, so have some security, counseling, right? Mental counseling, and now they got somewhere to live. That's what I want to do with my project. You know what I mean? You know, something positive. You know, I've always been a caretaker all my life. I stopped drugs from being sold in my private. I had cats was eating on me, right? But you know, when I broke down the science to all of them, I stepped to all of them, all of whoever, securities, the Benjis, the cats. And I said to myself, would you like to go come home and see your mom walking around some cats that don't even live there, and your mother got grocery all in her hand? She barely can get in the building, and these people standing in front of the door selling drugs. Oh, you should catch a beat down as well. Let me explain something. You got a rent a cop, that's the mall security. Okay? You got cops, that's open. You got a bodyguard, and you got vineyard security. That's the house security that secures the facility. But when the main objectives come in, you have bodyguards. And bodyguards are over security. I don't protect buildings. I can. I know how to set up a perimeter. I know how to zero you out in certain distance on perimeter, right? But my job as a bodyguard is to protect human beings that move and allow them to have life and freedom and peace. And I have to keep looking over their shoulder. And I have to worry about somebody running up, just touching them out of nowhere. You see, but security in the venue, you know, a lot of them just might play football, might go to the gym, might work at, CVS. They got a job working in the venue. So they see the bodyguard. There's a major difference in pay, but ideology of the job, security, bodyguard, po-po, soldier, is defuse situations, not create situations. I tell cats like this, because see, I'm from old school, I'm from duct tape, you know what I mean? And where I'm coming from when I say that, do you accept dying? And if you took over 6 seconds, 5 seconds, in my opinion, It's too new. Guess what? You don't need to be in this field.
If we talking about pain, talking about trying to heal your brain. If we talking about love, that's emotions don't understand. If we talking about peace, talking about you and me can maintain. Man, I'm just trying to treat my PTSD. If we talking about life, talking about something trying to behold. If we talking about death, talking about something you can't control. If we talking about winning, that shit gotta be in your spiritual soul. Man, I'm just trying to treat my PTSD. The medication won't do it. All we rippers all won't work at all, that just add to it. Promethazine won't do it. Codeine, sipping lean, smoking green, that just won't do it. That's why I keep getting to it. True it. Yeah, the weed help a little, but I gotta smoke a lot of it. To the point where I'm out of it, so I ain't getting nothing out of it. That there seem counterfeit, and sometimes I can't count the fits. Going through what they call the skits, but really you been acting like a bitch. Really you been lacking common sense. Really I've been really trying to vent. See, it's really all about intent, 'cause when the pressure on, shit get intense. Shit really start to hit the fence. I can feel you all in my back again. Fuck around and kill you on accident. Next thing you know, I be attacking him, but I'm a strong wise. Achieving mine, I got strength, wisdom, alert mind. You know the acronym, but you gon' send a nigga back again, try and hurt mine. Don't be the reason that bullets and dirt fly. Don't be the reason. Don't be the reason your niggas is bleeding. Some of your people you can't find. If we talking about pain, talking about trying to heal your brain. If we talking about love, that's some emotions don't understand. If we talking about peace, talking about you and me can maintain. Man, I'm just trying to treat my PTSD. If we talking about life, we talking about something trying to behold. If we talking about death, we talking about something you can't control. If we talking about winning, that shit gotta be in your spiritual soul. Man, I'm just trying to treat my PTSD. These ratchet hoes won't do it. Shit, I gotta find a wife. You know the right bond, stick to it. Alright, gon' get to it. Girl, you need to let me know if you think you it. All night spit fluid. Girl, you need to let me know if you gon' do it. I'm a professional, I'm a sexual. Said when it come to X and O's, I'ma curl your toes. You ain't letting go. I can define the 2 words, she open. And yeah, we gon' strap up, 'cause I'm done with child support. And that thing too potent. I'm in that thing that's rain is soaking. The cream in the foam like it's soaping. I'm in that thing in the bang like orangutan. As I go ape when I'm stroking. Every word that's spoken. Yeah, that's PTSD. 'Cause I be putting that sex down. Ready for the next round. Headed for the next town, got these hoes on fleek. Yeah, I got your hoe all geek. She already exposed all the cheeks. Even them choosing, they gon' use her. Yeah, that's amusing. No matter what you do, me and my crew do something like voodoo when we dealing with these freaks. If we talking about pain, talking about trying to heal your brain. If we talking about love, that's some most just don't understand. If we talking about